You know what? I I just got to get a newer camera.
We don't have that kind of money right now, Carl.
Hey everybody, Carl here, and I gotta tell you, I've been trying to make this video for over a week. I would start it, have something going, and it just didn't look right, didn't sound right, something happened, blah blah. It's like, it's crazy. I know I tried at least 5 times. One of the times was, see all this bright light that comes in here? Well, I mean, that's great. It's good. We should all have good light. But when you're trying to do something like this, and you're trying to video, it's really tough. I mean, I've still got it coming over here, but that's not as bad. It's not, jumping on you. Okay, so what's this all about? Well, I told you before, I wanted to make some stuff for the Rolls-Royce. I believe you can see it there. I was going to redo a wheel, and I was going to do the headlamp. And I started doing that. Let me get you hooked up back here again. I'm trying to keep this nice and straight and, good for you guys. Excuse me. Okay, so originally I was going to use some putty that I had from like years ago in my lab. And it was... I couldn't use it. I tried, it wouldn't set up. So then I ordered some alginate, which is it's a powder mix, and that's what the dentists use if they take an impression in your mouth. That stuff works good. And I thought, well, I'll try that because it's something I'm familiar with. And I didn't have enough here. I was going to order some. The seller at Amazon screwed up, sent me the wrong stuff. I went, you know what? No. I sent it back to him. And I looked around and thought, okay, well, what can I use? Well, I came up with this, because this is kind of like the putty that I used in the lab, just a little bit different. And it's a 2-part putty. What I use, it's called Polyplastics. It's got an A and a B side to it. Which most things, it's you either mix them 50-50 or you have the putty and then you have like a hardener that you add to it. This is a 50-50 mix. And so I gave it a try, and I'll do a little demo here just to show you how it works. But I did do the tire, okay? And I also did the lamp, okay? And the impressions came out great. But I tried to use something else for the to pour, to actually make the product. And I use this stuff. It's what 803 Road King uses. He's a great body guy. I mean, he's retired now, but I mean, he still knows his stuff. And one of the things that he uses is called PC7, A and B. Excuse me. You mix the two together, and you get an epoxy kind of mix. It takes a long time to set up, but when it does, it works good. The only thing is, the viscosity is too thick, and if you try to pour it, trying to get it out and push it into the mold. Well, that's great if you're doing body work. You want something like that. You want it where it's stiff enough to where it'll hold. But on what we're doing, we want to be able to pour in the area so we get the detail. The stuff will flow in all the little nooks and crannies, and we'll get the detail on it. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? I thought, well, you know what? I have some JB clear weld. They're clear epoxy, and it's pretty runny when you mix them together. A and B. There you go again. And I thought, well, how about if I mix that and I pour that in the mold first and let that get into, you know, all the little small detailed areas. Then I can come back with the PC7 and put that in behind it, and then we'll have detail, we'll have strength. I'll paint it, and it should look fine. So that's what I'm doing. Now I was showing all these steps as I was making my videos for you, and well, naturally, you know, they really messed up. Like I said, I literally did this at least 5 times, and I got to a point where I just went, you know, and that's what, you know, the little ditty in the beginning about I need a new camera. Right now I'm doing it on my phone again. Now I was shooting it on the Kodak before, and you know, one cool thing about, man, this picks up some stuff. I try to filter it down for the light though, and it really, I mean, it will grab every bit of light, which is good, I mean, for some things. But when you're in this room where the light is just blasting you, this wasn't getting it. And you know what, I have some other cameras. I've got my you know, I got my little sports camera, and it works great. It takes good pictures, but it's not what I want. Now, you know, I have my really good cameras like my Canon, but that takes those little tape cartridges, and it's a pain in the butt, and you got to use your FireWire connection, and there's a lot to it, you know, and so you know what, I'm gonna use my camera or I'm gonna use my phone as my camera for right now. I hope it comes through okay. And I'm going to mix up some of this PC7, and we're going to pour it into our molds. Like I said, I've already got the JB Weld in there. So I don't know if you can see this good enough. I don't know how much this will focus. But I think you can see the acrylic in there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put I'm going to mix up the PVC, or PC7, I'm sorry, and we're going to put that just on top. Now I'll have to come back for another part on this when we release it, because to let this stuff really set up good, it takes almost 2 days. You know, so I want to show you how I'm doing it, and then I want to show you the results. Yeah, and this might not work perfect. Like I said, this is all, you know, I'm used to stuff that I worked with, you know, the dental acrylics and all that stuff. And man, I'll tell you, I could do anything I wanted with that stuff. I really could. I could make stuff like you wouldn't even believe, and it wouldn't take long. I mean, within a day, I could make a set of dentures, you know, from scratch if I wanted to. So, I mean, that just shows you. But when you're dealing with new things, and it's a different time, but anyway, okay, I'm going to try to make this so I can dial it down on my very messy bench here, because I'm doing other stuff. I'm still doing my crystal, and I'm going to try to do some shortwave stuff with that. So I'm leaving that set up. And right, let me bring you back when I see if I can get this dialed in for you. Alright guys, here's the PC7 I was talking about. I don't know, I might have showed you the other stuff. But A and B, right? And I'm going to mix them equal parts. And it's kind of, you can see it's kind of, it's like a putty. It's a real thin putty that likes to mess with you. So I should probably be using my gloves, but okay, I'm going to take part A here. And then we'll get part B going. Try to pull the same amount out. That much right there. And one nice thing about this stuff is you do have some working time with it, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I said I should have been using my gloves. I know, but right now it's just I just want to do this and get it done for you and show you something. Like I said, we were going to do this, and so that's what I'm trying to do. Let's see. I'll just take one of these. These are for my putting the ferrite rods. And it doesn't hurt to have a handle, so in the end I'll have have an epoxy handle here. Plus I'll have this stuff. So we're going to mix it up. And you want to mix it up so there's no marbling. Okay. And it does get thick. I mean, you know, and you'd almost think that because it gets so thick, you'd almost think that it sets up right away. But that's a fooler. It doesn't. You gotta let it go. And for this one, patience is pretty much a virtue. But when you're done, what you have is stuff you can you can cut, you can sand, grind. It's pretty good. It's not real cheap, but you know, for what it does, I think it's seems to be a pretty good deal. So let me wrap some of this up here. Okay, and well, first of all, let's take and put it in where the headlamp. Now, what I'll do is I will let me push that in. I will grind out the inside of the lamp here, and maybe paint inside silver or whatever I gotta do to make it look good. Okay, but I'm pushing it now. I'm getting some pressure on it. Okay, and so it goes into the little areas where the acrylic is. Now let's do the same thing with our tire and wheel. Okay, get this in here like this. Hope I'm catching all this for you, because I don't want this to be the number 6 fail video. I want this one to be the one I can put out for you guys. By the way, and it's going to be a while down the road, because I've got, well, you know, I got several projects going. I made a good purchase on a vintage Sony reel-to-reel, and it works and everything, and I got a pretty good price on it, but it's running slow, and I went to 12-volt vids. Dave there did a video on one, and he showed that the capacitor for the motor, since it's a AC motor, that usually will bring it back up to speed. Now I'm going to go in. I'm going to test, because it's actually rare, because that model, you know, Sony was always known for its solid state, and this one does have tubes in it, so it's like a hybrid. So you know, it's unique in itself, and it's stereo, and it's from the early '60s. So when I start digging into that, I'll bring you along for that too, and we'll dig in that thing together. But it's going to be a little while, but that's like upcoming events. Okay, so I think I got that set pretty well. And just for the heck of it, since I got a little bit left here, like I said, I think I'm going to make a handle for this, so when when I'm using it, it's got something to hang on to, or I've got something to hang on to. There's a handle involved. Okay. So we can always grind that down exactly the way we want it to be. I'm going to stick it over here. That should be fine. Alright, so let me bring you back for like a little wrap up here, okay? Alright. Okay, so let's hope when I look at this in the editing, we go, hey, okay, I can actually use this one for you guys. But to do a real fast recap for our impression material, we use this Polyplastics A and B, right? And then for the actual acrylic that we're going to use, that will be the part, we started out with JB Weld Clear, and we use that to get into the real nooks and crannies and stuff, which I did previously. And then we followed that up with PC7, and we're going to let that sit for a couple days, and then when I get ready to break it out, I will come back to you. So until then, everybody have a fantastic day. I'm so glad to see you and be here again with you, and I hope I can bring these a little bit more closer together. I just had a tough week. Okay, everybody, have a fantastic day. Be good to everybody, and I'm going to catch you real soon. Bye now.